This is Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the video game. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is an asymmetrical multiplayer experience, the likes of which we've seen many times, and in particular, this one actually really is the, I guess you would say, successor to Friday the 13th, because essentially they've taken the technology and the engine and everything like that, and have just kind of polished it. Because this is straight up the gameplay mechanics, style, and play that was present with Friday the 13th, which is kind of fascinating. So it's an asymmetrical multiplayer game where 7 humans will attempt to survive against 3 clowns. It's got crossplay and a range of different maps and scenarios for you to attempt to survive in. So the humans are attempting to escape. They have a few different options. A boat, Friday the 13th, a gated exit, a bomb shelter, and an escape portal. There's also like this post-game apocalyptic scenario if things don't kind of pan out because, well, you know, it's kind of like an endgame scenario where it's like, oh, they haven't been able to catch you, you've been running around as a human, and you have to get to like this ice cream truck and get out of there. And that's kind of the post-game, endgame kind of thing if, you know, things don't all work out. It's honestly a pretty interesting concept, and an interesting twist on pre-existing asymmetrical games, multiplayer horror titles, because they are very similar. And this one is taking existing mechanics and kind of switching it up a little bit. And then from the perspective of the Killer Klowns, which I was kind of hoping that we would run into one so I could show it off, they're attempting to go around killing you or turning you into these things and putting you on hooks in order to quicken the clown apocalypse. And yeah, that's kind of the game. So what are we getting here? 4K resolution, 60 FPS. It's actually smooth, runs really well. HDR support. There's spatial sound support, Dolby Atmos, and DTS:X. So it's actually got a full suite of current gen features. And if we do ever get a Friday the 13th remastering, as to say, which I would love to see now that the licensing for that is cleared up. This is kind of what I imagine the game would sort of look like. I also wanted to quickly mention that in the settings, you can actually adjust the foliage quality. On default, it's low, but you can put it up to cinematic, and you'll notice that there will be an increase in the foliage of the world. There are some bugs. Like, this game definitely has some bugs to it. I've had like character arms floating around. I've had like infinite sort of matchmaking problems. There's just a few different technical kind of bugs have popped up. Nothing that really, I think, interrupts the gameplay in sort of a negative way, aside from the one time the perspective got kind of like bugged out and I couldn't really look across the screen. It was like, you know, my character's on the left, my character then was on the right, and it was really quite awkward. But usually, you know, restarting things seems to fix everything, so that's kind of great. There's elements of like how quiet you are when you move through the environment. There's teamwork. As I kind of mentioned, it very much is basically like Friday the 13th. It's just a evolution of sorts in terms of... Oh, that was a huge waste of that knife, actually. I thought I had the wrench out. Anyways, yeah, it's just kind of an evolution of that technology. And it's weird. Like, I sit here and I'm like, is there such thing as a game that is too niche? There's a guy trying to escape on a boat, and I'm trying to find out where that is. And I think maybe for the first time this game might be a little too niche, at least for me. I don't know. Like, I think some people can have some fun with this game. I think some people can find this interesting. But this game is really, really quite bizarre and just a little too kind of weird to me. I don't know. I don't know if I even like it. I've streamed like over 4 hours of it. I've played more of it. I just like, I really can't tell if I enjoy it or if I have no idea what's going on or it's just random nonsense. It's kind of silly and the balancing kind of seems all over the place. Could we please just get on the boat so that we can all sail out of here? What are you doing? I don't want to wait for these people forever. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff. There's some different items in that you can come across. There's some different weapons and different tools, different balances to that. Lots of customization options. The clowns can get customized. And then when you're finished a match, they've added some nice little time-saving things. And the matchmaking is so quick in this right now, which is awesome. But they've kind of added some options where you're able to play like games. So you can get like resurrected, but then there's like the Hand of Fate, and you know, then you play like these little mini games. And these mini games, depending on how well you do, you can essentially come in and actually like help your teammates. Like you can reward them with sort of this I guess you would say like items and stuff. Like, oh, you know, they might get some sort of special thing like a pop can, or you might give a burger or something. So the idea is to kind of like keep you engaged with all these little silly things. I prefer to just kind of leave the match and get into another one, and a varied selection of clowns. As I was kind of mentioning there is a great selection of actually being able to personalize and unlock stuff in the game to actually change the look of your clown or the look of your regular character. There are some, I guess you would say, specialty, I guess you would say, characters, which I believe are from the movie, because you got to keep in mind, if you're not familiar with this, this is based on a film from the 80s. I guess a cult classic, they sort of call it, and yeah, it's I don't know. Like it's kind of a weird thing. I don't know if this game motivated me to watch the movie because I still haven't watched it yet. I don't know. Because I assume the idea is they got sort of this really niche property for cheap licensing. They're like, we have the Friday the 13th game. We can't sell that right now. Now, actually, I think the licensing should be good again, honestly. They're just handing it out like candy. But they're like, okay, so what can we do with it? Amazon owns MGM. We could probably get a good quick deal and do this obscure but kind of known, kind of laughed about property, and you know, turn it into like a bit of a Friday the 13th type thing, and that's kind of what we got here. So I don't know how well known the property is, because I mean I watch a lot of movies and I haven't seen this one. I don't even know. Like, I guess the idea would be it would inspire you playing the game to go check out the movie, or the movie would kind of be like, oh, go play the game from that. And I don't know if I get that vibe where I'm kind of like, oh, this kind of excites me to watch the movie. It kind of just, like, weirds me out in, like, the oddest of ways. So, like, I don't know. I think some people will find this to be kind of interesting. What are the odds that I actually get executed by a human? I guess, not high, considering this is how it's going. But yeah, it's interesting that this exists as it does, and I think it's an idea to kind of do like a cross-media between the two, but it seems so niche, and the game is just so weird and out there where I'm kind of like, honestly, I still can't tell if I like it, or if I dislike it, or if I find it too bizarre. It's okay. Like, I guess if you're into whatever I'm showing you gameplay-wise, it's fine. It's just like a lot of it just seems kind of like silly and sort of dumb almost, and I really don't know if that's a point of excitement for people. Wow, I'm really actually playing horribly as the clown, and I actually died as the clown. It happens, but yeah, kind of a sucks to suck moment is what that is. But it's just, yeah, I find it so bizarre in the strangest of ways. Like, they do give you lots of customization. They do have a pretty good selection of maps. The maps are varied. They do give you cool abilities for each of the factions. It just seems a bit like random, and I don't know if the gameplay loop is quite exciting enough for me to really keep with it. It's sort of like I'm doing my content here and then I'm just going to move on from it because I find this one too weird. And I've played a lot of these asymmetrical multiplayer games, like a ton of them, if you've seen on the channel. Like I've played the Ghostbusters, Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight, we were naming off like dozens of them almost. The Texas Chainsaw, like I've played so many of them, and usually to me they're fun things you do in bursts. Some of them have a more addicting gameplay loop than others. But this one I just find really strange. Like there's a part of me where I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I'm warming up to it after, you know, hours and hours of play, but I still just, I don't know. It's just something where I'm kind of like, maybe an extremely like short burst or something, but I don't know if it's got it or not. It's going to be really interesting to see if this one kind of lasts, because I think it's just the local training mode, and it's the whole game is just full multiplayer. So that in itself is kind of interesting, but you know, it is like polished in terms of like a visual aesthetic. Obviously, I mentioned there's lots of little bugs and stuff, but like, you know, it is polished enough. You get some cool executions when you do kill the humans. You do have some like abilities that you can unleash as a clown, and then as you level, same with the regular people, as you level you're able to, you know, get new weapons, get new tools, personalize things a little bit. Like there's actually quite a lot going on in this one under the hood. Like there is quite a bit of content. There is a lot of playability. It's not really scary. Like I didn't find any of this scary. I don't really find any like jump scares or anything like that. It's just kind of really like not cartoony, campy, and just kind of like bizarrely silly. And I don't know if that's in a positive way or a weird way or what. So like I appreciate that we're at a point in gaming history where just like the weirdest multiplayer projects can kind of live, but I can't help but feel like maybe the initial hype for this one is from the gathered cult fans of the show, and then as more people check it out, more people will find this just a little too odd. Like it just basically reuses all the fundamentals and the gameplay design of Friday the 13th, and I think it does it in a little less of a satisfying way compared to that game, because I really do like that game. Oh, the vibrations kill me. And yeah, I don't know. I'm really like, I find it weird, but as I said, if you see this and you like what this gameplay loop is between the humans and the clowns, like there is a lot thought there. Like, you know, a lot of actual thought out things, like what do you do between rounds when you die? Is it easy to come and go? They basically took a lot of the lessons, from, you know, the Friday the 13th failure, I guess you would say. Well, not failure in the sense that like the game was bad or anything, but the fact that like, you know, the license got pulled and they weren't able to make it the game that they wanted to. So that in itself made the project, I think, a bit of a failure in the long term, because I'm sure they wanted that to be a long-term project, and very well could have been, but they weren't allowed to, hence making it something that did fail, I guess you would say. So that is a little disappointing, and they took the lessons and everything that they weren't able to fix and weren't able to do and weren't able to improve on for that game, and they've implemented them here for these Killer Klowns. And it is a clean, current-gen game, like visually and audio-wise and gameplay-wise. It comes together, and that's a satisfying thing. And as I said, lots of different maps, lots of different locales. You can go into a lot of the different environments. There's some interesting stuff here. It's just whether or not the core gameplay loop is something that you know, locks you in, makes you feel interested. I find a lot of this to be a little sort of dumb and silly in the, like, not the best of ways. But I do know that some people have kind of found this to be fun and engaging and interesting. And I think that's going to come down to the type of player you are, honestly. And I do, like, I don't even know if there's more, like, gameplay loop I could really ask for in this game. Like, some games, I'm like, oh, there's just not enough going on in these multiplayer games. But this one, there's more than enough going on, but at times it does feel a little boring because I can't find like enemies or find out where stuff is, and other times it's like way too chaotic. But I don't know, this one is really bizarre. I'm like the most split in this game that I think I've been in a lot of games for a long time. where I'm sort of confused as to my feelings about it, which makes it harder to like easily recommend this or present this. But if you are looking for that new asymmetrical flavor of the month or whatever, I guess this one kind of fits the bill. I just ponder if this is going to be one of those ones where it's kind of like you play it a little bit when it comes out and then it just kind of totally dies, because that is kind of a real possibility, because I don't know if this game really extends like beyond the sort of niche fans or the people kind of taking a look at it for like the novelty perspective of it, which I guess is a shame, because the gameplay mechanics are kind of neat and they do reinvent upon the Friday the 13th stuff. But if you did play Friday the 13th, this really does feel to a degree derivative of that kind of concept. I guess I'll go throw this guy on the hook. But it's just like so silly. Like when I first jumped into this game, I was like, man, this is like the dumbest thing in the world. And then after like 4 hours, I'm like, this is still the dumbest thing in the world. So I don't know if you're gonna feel differently after when you play this game or what you see for this game, but yeah, it's weird because like graphically it's fine, technically it's buggy. It's got a neat gameplay concept, but not one that fully grasps my attention to the point where it's like other, asymmetrical multiplayer games. Because some of these, I just sit there and I grind the achievements and I grind them out a lot. Like I've played quite a bit of these games over the years, done many streams and many different things across many of these different games. And I'm always curious to see the approaches and the designs they go for. And this one, I'm just so ultimately confused. Like, bravo for really taking a swing and trying to do something super insanely weird and ridiculous, but at the same time I'm kind of like, why? like why specifically this? What is the big like sort of twist thing that they were wanting to go for this one to make it like a worthwhile, unique experience? Because I don't know if there's anything that like really mixes up the gameplay beyond what we've seen from other games like this. That was a good stunt. Kind of sucks because I'm gonna get killed here, but that was a really effective surprise stunt on me. I give props to that character for that setup. But like sometimes when you're a clown, you're just walking around aimlessly. Sometimes when you're a human, you're just walking around aimlessly. Sometimes you know what you're doing. Sometimes you're just confused, and people come and they go off the maps. And it's nice that they try to create something where it's like, oh, if somebody like quits, it's nice and easy for someone else to jump in. And I am so confused by this game. I know I've said that quite a few times, but like this is just bizarre. Like the choice of bringing back this random game from like the 80s. Like I feel like there's gotta have been other horror IP or franchises that could have been done. Or crazy enough, maybe an original like asymmetrical horror game that kind of draws people in. Dead by Daylight was able to do that, right? And then they added IP over time. Maybe that should be an approach, but it does kind of feel like, to a degree, what we get from like Elphonic Publishing and stuff is kind of like these quick sort of, they're fun, they're enjoyable, come in, play, have some fun, and then leave and move on to the next one kind of games. And I mean, if that works for them, that's great and whatnot. It just would be nice to have some of these titles built with a little bit more longevity in mind, or the potential to kind of grow long term. Because it does kind of suck if you get all these like fans of, these different types of games, and they're only able to enjoy them for short time spans because other people go like, and then they move on, and it's weird. I definitely think we're getting some neat stuff here, and I kind of hope that maybe the end result of this is like, again, a remastered Friday the 13th game would be pretty tops, just because you could see those similarities like crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I hate this. I don't know if it's like, I don't think it's my favorite thing in the world, but it's kind of cool. And I clicked the wrong thing and he's going to steal my fatality. Yeah, he totally stole my clowntality because I clicked the stupid button instead of, I held R&B and then, wow, I can't believe I got robbed like that. So, if you liked what you saw, I think you could have some fun with it. I don't know if it'll last, but I don't know. Play it while it's hot and see if you like it or not. And from there, Killer Klowns in Space, the video game. What a seriously bizarre choice. And what a weird gaming space we live in where this is commonplace now. Wow. Just odd.